is there downscaling precipitation temperature data in North America available now? Is that data source for downscaling data? So I think I get the idea of this question. So I think if I want to say it's the Cordex data set and there's the LOCA data sets, are the big data sets you can use for precipitation, understanding where is precipitation increasing and decreasing by year, looking at the ensemble members of the models. Those data exist. You cannot use them as they come out. Otherwise, you end up with what we typically refer to as dipoles. If you just use the data as it exists, you might see one grid cell says that the 100-year return period should now be the 50-year return period, and the next one says that 50-year return period should be the 100-year return period. And so that's where I was saying there's a lot of noise in these models. And so you really have to look at them as an ensemble and do some spatiotemporal smoothing to get the general trend in areas so that you're not allowing the noise in the models to dictate how you're representing the climate change. So that data does exist. It's existed for a long time from those various different data sources. We can always talk about getting more into those data sources. But if you go look at that one image I had that had the CMIP6 circle, it mentions some of those data sources. You'll see Cordex in there. I think you'll see Loca in there if I recollect. But those are some data sources out there. But it's all existed for quite a long time. It is at quarter-degree resolution, if I recollect. So that's one thing where when we're talking about that precipitation is different and sea level rise is different, you have to choose at what resolution you want to allow those changes to exist. And going much below quarter-degree resolution, which is very coarse, gets a little bit dicey because these models don't do a great job of, say, telling you what the precipitation is going to be at 100-meter resolution, at 10-meter resolution. That's going beyond, that's asking the models too much with their current level of certainty. So using the way you use these things in CAT models is also important that, again, you don't use data at a higher resolution than it actually exists. You got to be a little bit careful about that. Again, it's about saying you know what you know and saying you don't know what you don't know. Great question, though.